Hey house guests, welcome to today's Big Brother 24 updates and spoilers. Welcome. It is Wednesday, right? I think our house guests of the day are Hector, Salinas, and Patrice. Thank you both so much for the support. We could not do this without you, and we appreciate it so much. Thank you again. And if you guys want to be house guests of the day, check out our Patreon link in the info box below. It's only $1 for holla. Yay! And I also want to thank yesterday's super chatters before we get started, because that's another fantastic way to support our channel. So Andres Lambaria, Alex Garza, Joey Rohrer, Deb Wicks, Vajrath, Sean Davis, Lay Pink, Victoria King, Child of God, Skylar Brown, Super Pretty Mess, Gabe L, Jefferson Tucker, Susan, I went the wrong way, Sean Davis, S, BABULA, and Nicole Diop. Thank you all so much for your super chats. Seriously, really appreciate them. And I see Alex Garza has a super chat for us. So thank you so much. All right, let's get started. When we left off yesterday, things had calmed down a bit since the insanity that occurred after the POV ceremony. I mean, those feeds. Liddy lit. Okay, so Amira and Terrance are up on the block. And of course, we know that Amira is Turner's target. And the votes are locked in for her to go because of a little alliance called the Leftovers. So just a reminder, the Leftovers are Michael, Brittany, Taylor, Joe, Kyle, Turner, and Monty. 7 people in that alliance. Only 6 of them are voting this week because Turner is the HOH, and 6 is all it takes to evict somebody. Woo! Okay, so they are acting their butts off this week. They're pretending they don't know what's going on. They're keeping their alliance hidden, but they're still managing to check in with each other and keep each other updated, and you just love to see it. It's great. Okay, so on the other hand, Amira and the non-leftovers think that she's going to be staying. Nope. Nicole had expressed some interest to Daniel in voting out Amira this week, but she wasn't sure that the votes would be there to take her out. Oh my God, Nicole keeps complaining too. Like, this is so terrible for me. I have to choose between my number 2 and my number 3. Blah. Everything seems to be about Nicole these days. It's a bit much. But it also seems like Nicole has since changed her mind anyway, and now she wants Amira to stay. Too bad. Okay, so Turner, Daniel, and Nicole are chatting in the HOH room, and I just have to shout out. They were talking about the show American Vandal. It's on Netflix, and it is so freaking funny. If you like stupid humor, it is very funny. Oh my God. But anyway, then they talk some game. And Turner says, people haven't really been coming to me and saying whether or not they liked my decision for the renom. And he says, I understand it wasn't the most popular decision. Maybe I kind of like messed up some people's games because they were really banking on Taylor leaving this week. But it is what it is. Nicole says, I respect the move as a player and as a huge fan of the game. But she says, not gonna lie, it sucks for me because now I'm in the middle. She says, I love both Terrance and Amira, 2 of my closest friends in the house. I love how she's also complaining because she's not on the block. But she says it's going to be a difficult decision choosing between the 2 of them. And Turner's like, oh, I didn't realize that you were so close to Amira. And Nicole's like, yeah, I guess it's just because like we're some of the older house guests. You know, we've kind of bonded over that. You mean the old school alliance that Turner knows about because of Alyssa? Yeah. Well, Daniel says he respects that Turner made the decision on his own. On his own with 6 other people. I mean, there is this perception at this point, because the Leftovers have been doing such a good job of acting this week. There is this perception that Turner made this decision all on his own. He didn't like factor in any votes or anything like that. He just went and made this move without like checking with anybody. That's not the case. So you can think what you want, but Turner says people have been telling me about Amira's current campaign that she's been working. He says it's a dumb campaign in his opinion, and I gotta say, I agree. He says, I'm hearing that Amira is going around saying that I put her and Terrance up by accident, and like it was a misunderstanding. Like, what? I feel like something has been lost in translation here. I feel like Amira's campaign got like telephoned a bit as people have retold it. I feel like Amira is just telling people that it should have been. I still don't think it's a great campaign, but I think she's telling people it should have been Indy and Alyssa on the block, but Turner did not want to put Alyssa up since they're friends. So then he went for like one of the other duos. Like there's only so many duos to choose from. Again, not like a great campaign, but also I feel like it's not exactly what Turner is hearing it is. So Turner says, look, this is the way I see it. He's saying I'm not going to tell anybody how to vote this week, but you know, if you want my opinion, this is what I'm seeing. He says there's a dope ass dude up on the block, Terrance, and there's a winner up on the block. He feels like Amira could potentially win this thing. So he's like, if you want to come in second place, fire, go for it. But, if you want a chance to win, maybe you should vote out Amira. So Turner also brings up how Amira just like stopped talking game with him. He says when Pooch was here, him, Pooch, and Amira used to stay up so late just chatting. And that's not happening anymore. He says ever since Pooch left, she like won't even say hello to me. It's like nothing. So this surprises Nicole and Daniel because they thought that Amira was still pretty tight with Turner. So Daniel says he is leaning towards keeping Terrance this week. I guess he had told Terrance when he put him up on the block, like, I'm never gonna go against you again, or something like that. So he says I'm keeping Terrance, but Nicole says she's just so torn. What about me? She says she feels like Terrance and Amira could both benefit her game. And she also seems to think that she is the swing vote this week. I mean, not really. But she says it seems like it's going to be an even split. I mean, if things pan out the way they're supposed to, it's going to be a very close vote with Amira leaving. But anyway, after Nicole and Amira have a check-in in the Jetsons' bedroom, and Nicole's like, ugh, that Turner, he is a vault. I was just up there for like an hour, and he said nothing of substance to me. So Amira's like, yeah, well, guess what? I feel like Turner is trying to take out the girls, and he's going for the stronger ones first because he knows he'll be able to beat Taylor, Brittany, and Indy later on. I mean, what she's saying here is before Turner was saying that he was targeting Taylor, Brittany, and Indy, and now he's HOH, and that's not what happened. So she figures Turner jumped at this opportunity, with a replacement nominee to take out like a stronger girl. So they agree if that is the case, Nicole would be the next target, or they could see maybe Turner would want to go up on the block himself, because that would mean that Jasmine would go up next to him, and he would like to see Jasmine go. So, I mean, wouldn't we all like that? So, Amira says she talked to Michael, and he said that Pose Pack is good to go, as in they're all voting for Amira to stay. Michael lied to you. But she says, look, if they don't keep me, you're going to need to watch out, because that means something's going on here and you're going to be in trouble. But Amira says, even if I don't have Monty and Kyle, I should still have the numbers to stay. She says, I trust everyone else. We'll see if you still feel that way tomorrow. So Nicole's like, all right, well, what do we need to do moving forward? And Amira says, we need to win HOH. It's going to be really difficult for Amira to do from home, but maybe Nicole. So Amira thinks that Turner is by himself at this point. Again, she's thinking he made this move on his own. But Amira says, if I end up going, there must be a guys thing. These guys must be all working together behind the scenes. So Nicole's like freaking out, and Amira's telling her, don't stress about it. It's going to be okay. And Amira says, Pose Pack is my crew, and Nicole, you are my number one. She says she wants 2 minority women together in the end. They're going to make history. And Nicole says she wants that too. And they agree that it can happen. It can, but not for you. So Amira says, Turner, he made this move without realizing that I have the numbers. She says she just feels like it's too early for Pose Pack to turn on each other. She feels like she's going to have the votes. Girl, you're in for a surprise. I just can't wait for Julie to do her little thing where she like reveals the alliance like on the wall after the person's evicted. Like, I just can't wait to see the leftovers up there on the screen and to see Amira's reaction to it. Oh, it's going to be wonderful. So anyway, Terrance, let's talk about Terrance. He is on the campaign trail because he does not know that he already has the votes to stay. They're not telling him that. So he's talking to Indy in the bathroom, and he tells Indy, look, if you see me as an asset to you, as somebody that you could potentially use for your game, I got you. I would never do anything against you. I know this is a hard decision. And Indy's like, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't think it's fair that you and Amira are up on the block. Why not? And she's like, maybe there'll be some twist or something. Another twist? But Indy says for this vote, she's going to do whatever comes into her heart in the moment, which is Indy's way of saying, I'm voting you out. We've heard her say this to other people before. And Terrance is telling her, follow your heart. If it is me that you're keeping, thank you. If it's not, I definitely understand. Okay, so not long after that, Indy checks in with Amira. She says, just want to let you know, Terrance just campaigned to me, and I'm telling all the guys that I don't know how I'm voting this week because I don't want them to know. But don't worry, I am voting for you to stay. Have fun with that. So Amira's like, cool, I trust you. But, maybe tell some people at some point that you're voting to keep me, just in case, some people are waiting to hear how the rest of the house is voting so that they'll feel more comfortable voting for me to stay. So then a little later, Monty, Kyle, and Turner have a game chat in the HOH room. And this is always interesting. I love hearing this Leftovers Alliance chat because I feel like a lot of times they actually know what they're talking about, and it's just exciting to listen to them strategize. So Kyle's like, all right, are we going to tell Terrance ahead of time that he has the votes to stay? They, of course that would be nice, right? They would love to do that for Terrance, but they agree that it would probably be too risky because there is a chance that that information could leak and cause problems. They want a nice smooth path to the eviction on Thursday, excuse me. So Kyle lets them know he did in fact break the news to Alyssa that he does not want to get into a showmance with her. He's telling her we can get together after the show or in the jury house, whatever. But he says she took it well. We're still on good terms. And he says Alyssa is still dropping little nuggets of information to him. He said Alyssa was talking about how Jasmine owns her own press-on nail company and her husband works for some like Fortune 500 company. So she is loaded. So Kyle says we should keep this information in our back pocket for later. We can use this to make cracks in the Girls Alliance by leaking it at the right time. It could cause some distrust between Alyssa and Jasmine. Kyle is also holding on to the fact that Alyssa said Daniel was the one that put together the old school alliance. And they want to use this information in the event that Daniel wins HOH again. Because one of their biggest concerns here is how do we protect our alliance if somebody outside of the alliance wins HOH? They've got 2 tricky duos that they need to look out for. Because if like Kyle and Daniel went up on the block, that's okay because one of them is in the alliance, one of them is out of the alliance, so they could still vote out the person outside of the alliance. But if Joseph and Monty end up on the block, or Brittany and Michael, they're in trouble because one of their alliance members would absolutely be leaving. So they really want to make sure they can have some control, some influence over who would be going up on the block. So if Daniel were to win HOH, they're hoping they could get him like really pissed at Alyssa, and maybe she would take a shot, or he would take a shot at Alyssa and Indy. Okay. I think also, I just feel like Kyle would love to see Alyssa leave before jury because he doesn't want to have to like. I don't see him being that interested in her anymore. I'm not feeling it. But anyway, and I think he's worried that she could potentially mess up his game at some point. But anyway, Monty says all this information leaking is great, but we need to be careful that it does not get traced back to Kyle, right? Because he is our source here. We don't want that to dry up. We got to make sure that we keep it on the down low. All right. So they talk about their targets moving forward, and we've already heard them discuss. They want to target Daniel and Nicole, but they're not sure exactly what order to go after them. So Turner is one. There was also some talk of just going straight for Alyssa and Indy because neither of them are in the alliance. So if they wanted to avoid having an alliance member on the block at this point, they can just put those two up. But it seems like they would rather target Daniel and Nicole first. So Turner's wondering, like, maybe should we go for Daniel first? Because he's worried that if they go ahead and target Nicole first, that would mean that Taylor would have to go up on the block with her. And Turner doesn't want to put Taylor in that position so quickly, you know, after establishing this alliance. They don't want her to feel like, oh crap, I'm already like being used as a pawn here. So Kyle is saying, yeah, I'd be down to go next to Daniel if that's what we're doing, you know, if we're doing that first. But Monty brings up a good point. If Monty were to win HOH, it would make a lot of sense for him to put Taylor and Nicole up on the block because he's been pushing this narrative that he still wants Taylor out. And Taylor has been doing the same, saying that she wants Monty out. But then obviously they would vote out Nicole instead of Taylor. So Monty's saying it would make sense for me, you know? And I think Taylor would probably be on board with that. But Monty's also saying if Taylor or Nicole win the power of veto, then we can just take out Daniel or Alyssa. So they have a lot of options right now. So they're really hoping that Taylor is with them because they realize, like, the one thing that's really going to screw this up is if Taylor flips the vote back and keeps Amira. Then we're going to be in trouble. They realize she's been doing a great job with her acting this week, but they're pretty sure that Taylor is legit and she's actually with them. They're thinking about how this is the first official thing that Taylor's really been invited to be a part of this season. So they feel pretty good with her. She's gonna be fine. Okay, so later, Amira is holding court in the Jetsons' bedroom. It turns out it's an impromptu girls meeting. Yes, they're still a thing because Amira needs them right now. So it's Amira, Alyssa, Jasmine, Brittany. Indy was in there briefly, but not the whole time. And I just have to mention how fake it was when they cheered for Brittany when she walked in. They're like, yeah. Come on. They only care about Brittany right now because they want her vote. But Amira says, look, we have to stay aligned. If I get evicted, the guys are coming after the girls. That's all there is to it. So they discuss how they're not feeling super confident about Daniel right now. I mean, Daniel was saying before, like, I want to play with the women, blah, blah, blah. I want to work with girls. But they're realizing more and more, Daniel is a very emotional player, and they're worried that Daniel is taking information from them and bringing it back to the guys. No, they've got Alyssa to do that for them. So Amira says, we have to be really careful with Nicole because obviously everybody knows how tight Nicole is with Daniel. So don't be talking too much game with Nicole because it's probably going to get to Daniel and then he may bring it back to everybody else. But they agree that they trust Indy 100% right now. They feel like she's a real one. And Amira is very confident that she has the votes at this point. Oh my God. But after this conversation is over, this meeting breaks up, Brittany is alone in the room and she looks at the camera and mouths, not a chance. No, no, no. Woo! She also tells Michael about this conversation later. Yes, that's what we like to see. Okay, so later. Oh, she also was talking about how she hopes that America's not going to hate her because she's like going against this women's alliance, but like, girl, we know the score. They're not trying to actually work with you. All right. So anyway, later, Daniel joins Taylor in the golf bedroom to clear some things. Sir, I think the term you're looking for is to apologize. Okay, so this is about the blow up that happened while the feeds were down the other day before the power veto competition on Saturday. And we are supposed to be seeing this confrontation on tonight's episode. That's what Hamster Watch said, and I trust her with everything. So, yeah, we know Daniel went off on Taylor after she was trying to comfort Nicole because she thought that Nicole got bad news about her mom, and she was telling Nicole, like, whatever you got to do, even if that means like leaving the game, we support you. It's going to be okay, you know? So she's trying to help, but Nicole was pissed about it. And then she vented to Daniel. Daniel went in and just like went too far, blowing up at Taylor. So apparently it got very ugly. At one point, Daniel blamed Taylor for Paloma's mental health issues that ultimately led to her leaving the game. That's so messed up. We talked about this the other day. But here Daniel is to... I can't say he's here to apologize because there was no apology. But he's here to, in a roundabout way, not apologize. So Daniel says he's looking at this as a blessing that Turner did not backdoor Taylor because he's had time to think about things. And if she did go up on the block, it'd be so easy to just like vote her out and not deal with this situation. So Daniel says my emotions really got the best of me. I'm a loyal person, so I stood up for these people that I love. He's talking about Nicole and Paloma. And he says, I could have gone about it in a different way. I don't want there to be any animosity between us. You know, clearly we butt heads, but I want us to be able to be in a room together and not have negativity between us. He says, I don't think our games align, but that's okay. He says, you can feel however you want about this and I'll respect it. But he says it would have killed me if you would have gone home this week and I didn't get to have this moment with you until finale night. And Daniel also says, I know that Paloma's issue started before we entered this house. And when he starts talking about this, it feels very much like the diary room put him up to this. But he's like, yeah, you know, what I was trying to say was that I felt like your situation with Paloma added to it. And he's like, I don't think you were the root of it or the reason that she left, but I think your situation with Paloma contributed to it. Ew. So, okay, I didn't hear the words I'm sorry or I apologize anywhere in there. It was really lame. But as expected, Taylor handled this conversation with class and grace because that is who she is. So Taylor says to Daniel, I liked you as a person since day one. But for me, it went too far with the Paloma thing. She says that I know that things can get ugly in the heat of the moment. But Taylor brings up, she says she's nervous that Daniel may get some backlash from the viewers because of that blow up. You know, she's like, I don't think they're going to be super happy about a white man like yelling at a black woman like that. And she says, I want you to know that I still want to be your friend in here, out of here. You have my support. And Daniel's like, I appreciate that. You know, it was never meant to be like about gender or race or anything like that. He kept pushing that he was like standing up for his friends. So they hug it out. I'm sorry. This apology was super, super lame. But after it was over, Taylor is alone. She's talking to the cameras, and she says Daniel is a really sweet, kind, sensitive, thoughtful guy. She doesn't agree with the way that he spoke to her and raised his voice at her and like the things that he was saying. But she says, I don't think we're defined by our worst or ugliest moment. And she says to the viewers, I don't want all of you to hate Daniel or have him like miss out on opportunities because of this. She says that guy will be a friend of mine for a while. Honestly, like, she is such a big person. She's an angel. I think she might be a little too nice in this situation. I don't think that, like, people should try to ruin Daniel's life over this. But I hope that Taylor is not going to, like, be friends with him if he's going to continue to be a jerk. But anyway, that's that. In other news, the Leftovers had a little bit of a slip up last night. Nothing like major, but definitely a slip up. So I have to say, so far they've done a really good job leaking information throughout the house to cause doubt and paranoia. I mean, their alliance was like built on information that was leaked from Alyssa to Kyle. He used that to bring their group together. But they got a little bit sloppy last night. So Turner was talking to Jasmine and sharing some information with her. And first of all, he let her know Dan and Nicole knew ahead of time that I was probably like not going to put Taylor up on the block as a replacement. So thumbs up on that, because I think that's doing a really good job of causing more paranoia and suspicion about Nicole and Daniel. But Turner also said to Jasmine that he has heard Amira has a job lined up with Google after this, and she's going to be making like $250,000 a year. So then Jasmine has a chat with Amira. And Jasmine's like, oh, I talked to Turner. And first of all, he definitely doesn't think that we're working together. Ladies, come on. Let's not kid. Like, everybody knows that you two are working together, but sure. So Jasmine brings up the Google rumor. And Amira says, that's weird because I only told Kyle about that. So Jasmine says, well, that kind of scares me about Kyle. You know, he's spreading information like this. And Amira's like, oh, it's not a big deal. Like, it's not like it was actually a secret or anything anyway. She does say, like, I'm not going to be making $250,000. Like, I think she said later on that that's like with stocks and stuff. I don't know. Whatever. But she's definitely like downplaying the situation and trying to make it seem like it's not that big of a deal. But Jasmine also spills that Turner said Daniel and Nicole both knew about the replacement nominee ahead of time. And Amira's like, I don't trust them. I mean, she's already been having doubts about them. So hearing this, she's like, So Jasmine also shares that Amira is definitely Turner's target. You know, he's talked at length about how he thinks Amira can win this whole thing. So even though Amira knows she's Turner's target, she thinks that she has the votes. Okay. So a little later, Amira and Kyle are chatting in the storage room. And Amira's like, I need to talk to you. She's like laughing while she says, it's gotten back to me that people know about Google. And you are the only person that I told about Google. So Kyle's like, what? I didn't tell anyone. I swear. He got caught. But Amira's like, you're literally the only person in the house that I told. So then she's thinking, like, maybe somebody overheard it. I don't know. But, like, you're the only person I told. So Kyle is swearing he did not tell. And he asks, did you tell Alyssa? Damn. He is ready to throw her under the bus. Amira says she didn't tell Alyssa because Alyssa is not good at keeping secrets. So they're both laughing during this conversation. It's not like a really serious thing. Like, F you told my secret. But, you know, Kyle he got caught here. Like, it's possible that Amira just thinks, like, okay, maybe somebody did overhear it. But, I mean, it's kind of, like, clear that he was the leaker. So Kyle also said again, I'm just saying, you know, Alyssa has told me things like that about other people. Damn, again, here's that bus again. Okay, so then they kind of like change topics here, and they're talking about how they just feel like they have the best people on their team in the Pose pack. And Amira is very confident that she has the votes to stay this week. She doesn't. Okay, so that was all last night. Today, nothing too crazy happening thus far. The calm before the blind side tomorrow. That's what it is right now. We know that unless something insane happens, Amira will be leaving, and the leftovers are hoping for a 6-5 vote tomorrow for mass chaos / confusion. I think that that's amazing and brilliant. I love it. So if the vote is 6-5, they feel like they'll be able to try and blame some votes on Nicole and Daniel. Hi. Is it buffering? Oh, I thought somebody said it was buffering.
1 second.
Sorry about that.
It was 1 second, okay?
So, hi, Bowie.
I just realized it's Poe's pack.
Yeah.
It's Paloma.
Yeah, but her nickname in school or something was Poe.
Why? Because she's like Winnie the Pooh?
I don't know. I don't know. But they want to try and pin the vote flip on Nicole and Daniel, and I think that would be a lot of fun. Honestly, I can't wait for it. I think it's going to be so much fun. Get your blindside butter beans ready. Woo! Yeah, that's where we're at right now. What?
Get your nails done.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, they were all doing nails last night. But tonight's episode is going to be crazy. Apparently, they're not showing the POV ceremony tonight. They're going to do like a to be continued because there's just so much to show before that. Again, like I said, Hamster Watch is saying they're going to show the Nicole, Taylor, Daniel situation tonight. So I hope we get an accurate representation of that and not some like watered down BS.
Julie version?
Because we need to see the truth here. I don't know how far they're going to go into it, though, if there was like discussion about Paloma and her mental health, because like I don't know that it would be right to like show too much about that. I don't know. But
where is the body?
Yeah. I feel like they also realize they have to show this because once they do get to the POV ceremony, part of Turner's speech, his speech is about bullying Taylor. So they have to show what's actually going on here. So they're going to be showing all that. They're going to be showing the formation of the leftovers. So it's going to be a wild episode. And then tomorrow night, we're going to see the craziness of the POV ceremony and the aftermath of that, which we already know is wild. And then it's looking like Amira's going to get blindsided. So, wow, what a treat. What a time to be alive.
Blindsided. Whoa, you're going home.
Yeah. So I want to thank all of our super chatters today because you guys are amazing. Alex Garza, thank you so much. Lisa, thank you so much. Jefferson Tucker, my goodness. Thank you so much. So generous. Oh, we really appreciate that. Darby C, thank you so much. And Darby says, I wonder how Nicole would feel if she knew the girls didn't include her from the start. I know, right?
I thought she knew.
No, she didn't know about that alliance. I feel like her and Amira really got close starting like week 2. But she was not part of the initial.
No, but I thought she knew she wasn't. Like they were like, hey, we want to bring you in.
I don't know. It was kind of like murky how that went down. I don't think she knew that there was like an actual alliance, but she at least knew that there was like an understanding of sorts that the women were like working together when it's convenient. But yeah, I don't know. I wonder how she would take that. I don't know. But thank you again to Darby C.
Fall off the hammock a third and fourth time.
Maybe. Oh my God. Hopefully they're going to put that in the episode tomorrow. Sean Davis, thank you so much for the super chat. Sean says, Amira should really have a thought that she's leaving. The delusion of it all. Terrance isn't going anywhere anytime soon. I can't wait for the camera to zoom in on her face. BB8 Dustin vibes. I know, right? I feel like we need like a Brady Bunch situation, right? We have like multiple cameras to see like Amira, Jasmine, Nicole, Daniel, like everybody. We need everybody. I want to see everyone's reactions. Thank you again. Jody Cortez. Thank you so much. And he says, I be back. Wow. What the heck? I take a few days off and the house went insane. Jody, you missed a wild weekend.
But don't worry. It'll hopefully all be on the broadcast show.
Yeah, all the important stuff. Thank you for your super chat. And I hope you had a good time at Comic-Con. Catherine Keys, thank you so much for the super chat. Dawn MH 302. Thank you so much for your super chat. Team Monkey. I hope I said your name right. Or is it Monk? Or Monk? Thank you so much for your super chat. I love the rainbow. Very cute. And Chris F. Thank you so much for your super chat. Yay! Okay. That brings us to the end of another live stream.
Oh, is that the whole stream?
Yes. So we will be back tonight with our episode recap. We hope you all join us. It should be a good one. And
Will you be feisty?
if I'm awake, no. Probably, right? Seeing it all
Yeah.
go down. But thank you all so much for being here as always. You are wonderful. And until next time, much love. Bye.